Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog Nice coming at you with a Boog Nice news brief, a quick update. Well, I always say it'll be quick. It'll be about 20 minutes, maybe. Just wrapped up the Fan First Friday, the first Fan First Friday of 2021 for Hasbro Marvel Legends. So, of course, what I did here was condense this a bit and just give you all of the important tidbits that you need and put it together here in a nice little package. So let's get into it.
A.C.B.A. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, sir. First we back at it.
Another Fan First Friday Marvel Edition brought to you by the Hasbro Pulse. The Legends 3-Man Weave is back, and we're ready to start 2021 coming in hot here. So let's just jump into our first topic here. So something that is really important to me, whether you guys like it or not. Hopefully you do. Let's just chat about Legends Retro for a little bit. So we revealed, through the help of some great toy influencer friends, shout out to Shartimus Prime, Pixel Dan, Toy Shiz, and Toy Arc. They helped us reveal Wave 1, these 6 characters of Retro that will be coming out in Target by the end of this month or the very beginning of March. So with my little spiel on Retro being over, we've gotten you all hyped up for that. I'm going to kick it over to Dan to go into 6-inch Legends, something we know that you're really here to see today. So take it away, Dan.
Hey guys, so starting with our Cosmic theme wave. So I think we've already announced that through our Walgreens partners, we're going to be releasing some Cosmic characters in Marvel Legends form. The first one that we've already shown, and I think it's been hitting some people's hands as well, is the Silver Surfer, the fallen one. You better get a Cosmic Ghost Rider figure to go with him. I love this version of Silver Surfer, but we've already shown you this guy already, so I think it's time we show you a little bit more on another figure that we showed on our last Fan First Friday, which was Nova. We're going to be actually showing you an impact shot of Nova today. Dwight, want to take them through Nova and the cool accessories that Richard Rider comes with?
So we're really happy with this one. We think he looks awesome. He's got those moving shoulder pads that'll rotate out of the way for play and pose, but you don't need to worry about them falling off or getting lost in the bottom of your toy drawer. He comes with a Quivet, the little floating helmet piece of Nova Corps. Before they were all extinct, there was a whole bunch of these guys, and they were all different alien races and stuff, which was really cool. So it was fun to throw in one of those extra little bits here. And Richard will come with alternate hands. He's got fists for punching, and he's got open hands for flying. You can see it here in the in-package shot. It really fills out the package nice and looks really cool and gives you some fun little bits and pieces to add a little bit more cosmic glory to the cosmos.
This is going to be available in stores for you guys to hunt and find in spring of this year, around May time frame. I'm really excited, though. The next character in our Cosmic series this year is actually going to be the first time we have this character in 6-inch form. I believe we had him at a 3 3/4-inch form. It's going to be the one and only Quasar.
Yeah, it's you don't need to go any further than Space Cape. He's got this cosmic pattern painted on the inside of his cape. It's a little dark in these images to see, but you can still see the little flicks of light, which are the different stars and stuff emblazoned on the inner lining of his cape. So it looks cool. It's awesome to do a more classic version here. Dan mentioned that we had done a more modern version in the Marvel Universe line back in the day, but I believe this is his first ever Marvel Legends official 6-inch figure. So he's got his bands on his wrist. I believe he also comes with alternate hands and some power effects and a really, really nice striking face sculpt. So there you guys go. First look at Quasar.
Yeah, that's really dope. I think everybody's going to start looking for their Walgreens stores for all these Cosmic characters. Look out for Quasar later on in spring. Nova will hit first, and then Quasar after that. We wanted to reveal 2 more characters that are going to be coming out this year. The first one is going to be a character that I like to play on Contest of Champions. It's going to be the Civil Warrior. So, Dwight, who doesn't like Steve Rogers feeling bad about, the death of Tony Stark, and so deciding, to combine Iron Man armor into the Captain America look? That Arc Shield looks dope.
Yeah, thanks. He turned out good. I mean, you guys all knew this one was coming when we did the Hydra version of Cap a couple of years ago. I mean, it was the same armor, just in the greens and gold. So, yeah, it may not be a surprise that he finally made it out in his silver, blue, and reds. But we did add the new shield and some cool little touches to him. So. It's a really, really striking armor, and I think it translated really, really cool to this look here. So I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we enjoyed making it.
Yeah, so the other character that we wanted to reveal that's going to be coming out this year is going to be none other than Tony Stark, but not just any Tony Stark. It's going to be the AI version of Tony Stark. As you see here, this is a panel where I believe it's Invincible Iron Man. He is a mentor to Riri Williams' character. He's also embedded himself in the Iron Man Mark IV armor, I believe, too. And so here's a first look at the Marvel Legends version of the AI Tony Stark figure. Dwight, that head sculpt looks dope, man.
Yeah, it turned out really cool. And it's really fun to, it was actually a challenge to get the translucency of his eyebrows, eyes, and goatee and hair onto a translucent head where it's still red as something that was projected versus opaque colors. But after a few rounds of revisions in the photo studio paint studio, and then with a few rounds of adjusting at the vendor, I think we got something that's really, really cool here. There, we obviously had to give you the classic Iron Man head as well to go along with it, because that would be really, really rude of us not to.
I love the good guys, but I'll be honest, Ryan, I really like the bad guys a lot. So why don't you bring on the bad guys?
All right, so yeah, this is the year of the bad guys, it would seem. We've had some deluxe figures come out already this year. I have them on my shelf behind me there. But first up is Thanos, the anniversary of the Infinity Gauntlet comic series. So you've got this Thanos here. Fans are getting their hands on him and enjoying them. So this is a great figure. Again, he comes with that King Thanos head that pairs very well with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Moving on from Thanos, we had our Marvel Monday for February, I want to say. February 1st, it was Maestro, this version of Hulk. So we revealed him. He's up for pre-order as well. He's got some gorgeous flowing locks there, and some other new bits from his necklace and his wrist gauntlets there. So definitely go out and get your Maestro. And then the third item, which is also up for pre-order. I think this will actually be coming out before Maestro, but of course it's the Modoc. We love this Modoc. Something that big Legends collectors have to deal with. Dwight posted some great shots of his office, but we have drawers and drawers of accessory pieces. And of course, when you're looking for that particular alternate piece, you can't find it because it's tough to keep track of. So, we were, as a team, thinking about how can we address this problem with Modoc. We have an interior storage system for Modoc. So his faceplate and his alternate hands fit inside. You close them back up, you'll never lose those pieces. As Dan said, we're bringing on the bad guys, not only with our deluxe figures, but we are going to, yes, take you through the entire super villain wave here for today. So, to quickly recap where we've been on, I believe, the PulseCon, and then maybe the last live stream of the year, we revealed 3 of the figures so far. First up was the Scientist Supreme. Again, speaking of Modoc, speaking of AIM, you got to get this guy as well to lead your army of AIM soldiers. So he comes with a cool, futuristic iPad-looking thing. He's an awesome shiny yellow leader of AIM there. So you've got the Scientist Supreme. Next up, we also revealed him via a render, but here's a look at a photo of him for the first time. We've got Dormammu, classic inspired. He's got some flame effects there. You can get him in some really cool poses. So there is your classic Dormammu. And then the third classic figure we revealed already is Arcade from one of my favorite Super Nintendo games growing up, Spider-Man and the X-Men Arcade's Revenge. But you see Arcade with his great platform shoes, his staff there, and 2 profiles, the short hair and then the long hair too, with a awesome bow tie and pocket square. So love Arcade. So let's just jump into the new reveals. First up, is a particular version of a character that was really popular last year when we put him out, but this is a new version, not just a redeco. He's got a lot of new pieces. Let's take a look at some of the comic art that inspired this. So this is the Secret Wars Battle World version of Doctor Doom, right? Take us through some of this as we look look at this cover here.
We decided that the Battle World was a really cool version to do. This version of Doom has a new torso, a new gloves, cape, and an all-new deco. So he's all silver and whites, which looks very regal and really, really cool, as you see here. And he comes with some cool, he's got his little blaster, and he's got another fun accessory to go along with this character as well. What you see him holding now is the spinal column and skull of Thanos. If you read this book, Doom wasn't messing around, and yeah, here you go, awesome. And when Thanos came calling, thinking that he had a one-up on Doom, Doom proved him to be totally wrong and ripped out his spine and skull and disintegrated him. And we thought that was just obviously a really fun, happy accessory to give him, because who doesn't love playing with spinal columns and skulls? I mean, that's just, that's 101 Marvel Legends toy right there.
That's right, and I was playing with my sample here, and I didn't realize this, Dwight, but you guys actually articulated the jaw of Thanos here, so that's good. That was nice of you to do that for Thanos. Next up is a new character, and I think the viewers, the audience, will particularly like it. We made it based on you guys, so let's take a look at this figure. This is the outspoken and opinionated Marvel Legends fan on social media. This is the Hood. So let's take a look at him with his actual hood and accessories there. This is a great comic villain who's been in the books for a while. I loved playing him in Marvel Puzzle Quest, actually, years ago. But he has a removable hood, clearly. He's got his two blasters there with some magical effects. So speak to that, Dwight.
Yeah, if you remember in the books, Parker here gets a hold of some Norn stones, which are some sort of Asgardian relic, and he powers up his pistols to be shooting magic bullets. So we have Parker here with his cloak, because you can't have the hood without the hood, and then he's got his blasters with those kind of magical swirls and the big, heavy, mystical blast coming out of his the barrels of his blasters. So, he's a weird character. Jesse's actually a big fan of this guy and really wanted to get him in the line. So we're happy after a few years of looking for the right place to find a home in this villains wave to get him out there. So
that's right. And here you see the little blaster with the effect. So it plugs on and removes very nicely, very secured. So that's a fun little accessory. And there you have it. You have the hood with it sitting properly on him. And then you have the double elbow. Where are my double elbows? Okay. Having a little fun there. We love all of you Marvel Legends fans. Some more than others. We've got an important character. There was a Toy Biz version of her back in the day. Probably due for an update. So this is Lady Deathstrike. This is an all new figure. Really excited. Dwight, tell us about her.
We love getting to throw some new tooling into our classic libraries as well. And this wave actually has 2 or 3 all new figures, and Lady Deathstrike is definitely one of them. So she looks fantastic. She's got everything you need. She's got 2 giant, oversized, creepy hands with a lot of cybernetic tech sculpted into the back of her hands, going up her forearms, coming across her chest. She looks really awesome. You can get her in some really cool poses, and a much needed update, and I get to check another Reaver box for myself, which always makes me happy when I can add another Reaver to the mix. I think she turned out fantastic. I hope you guys do when you get her in your hands. I've been playing with that figure for a few weeks now, and I'm super excited and having a lot of fun with all the cool battle poses you can get her in with Wolverine. Yeah, there you go. Ryan's got it right there.
all the detail, the sculpted lines all throughout her legs and her costume there, and as Dwight mentioned, the sculpted and decoed silver kind of cybernetic enhancements there. So really looking forward to adding Lady Deathstrike to the old X-Men shelf. And then we have one more figure That is a pretty notable character that's going to round out this wave.
Once more, this is an all-new sculpt. This is our new pinless technology on the elbows and knees. He's got double elbows, double knees, ab crunch, rotation at the waist, full hip articulation. He's got the Cosmic Cube. He's got a large scaled heavy like Hydra blaster. He comes with 2 expressions. You just saw a kind of classic expression and now a more modern wicked grin expression. So 2 different heads for him. And he has the Hydra armband on. So it's the yellow band with the dark green blackish logo. The inverse basically of what you see on his blaster, where he's got the Hydra logo in gold emblazoned on that. So he's cool. He's got a couple alternate hands. Everything you guys should want in Red Skull, and he stands just a hair taller than our standard 6-inch like Cyclops figure. Yeah, got him. So you got Red Skull. Here's an old Cyclops figure. So he's just a hair taller in the shoulders and a little bit broader. And you can see he's got the Hydra crest on his arm. So Hail Hydra.
Okay, so yeah, that takes us to the Build-A-Figure. I almost put this out there that I was going to bet that no one would be able to guess who the Build-A-Figure was, but I wasn't quite brave enough to make that claim. Pretty sure this is going to be a surprise to most of you all. But let's take a look at some comic inspiration for this character. This is from the Immortal Hulk run recently, and of course this is Zemnu, and I have practiced pronouncing that very, very much because I wanted to nail it. But what you've got here is a really cool looking character. He's got a Viking helmet. He's got a World Heavyweight Championship belt, 2 beady red eyes. He's got some cool technology going on his palms. Like, Dwight, what do you love about this figure?
He's just so darn weird. You know, it's like that's the magic of Marvel, man. When they come up with something that's just that crazy and what the heck is that? Like you said, he's got a little Viking skull cap, which is absolutely amazing. He's got the most impressive eyebrows in the history of toy. I mean, look at those things; those are epic. And then it's like, I don't know, you say beady, but I think there's love in those eyes. Look at those eyes. He's just so happy to get a toy for him. You know, he'd be telling us, but you can't see his mouth under all that fluff and fur. That's like me going way into year 4 of a pandemic. That's what I would look like. But you know, hopefully we don't get there. But yeah, and he's got the Cosmic Championship belt of the world. I mean, you know, what more can you ask for in a bizarre, weird, amazing, funky, large Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure figure?
Those red eyes are almost hypnotic when you stare at them. You can get lost in them. He has some pretty powerful psionic abilities from what I was able to research in terms of like controlling people and all that. So this wave, let's take a look at the whole wave together here. Wave of 7 with your Zemnu Build-A-Figure. Just a quick note, you know, I've listened to some podcasts and read a lot of posts about some good suggestions that would make for a villains wave. Our goal for this wave was not necessarily to put the 7 strongest villains that have yet to be done like in a wave altogether, because we still do include villains in our X-Men waves and our Avengers waves and things like that. This was kind of our place to have a little fun, do some, you know, very important characters like your Dormammu, your Red Skull, but throw in a couple of curveballs like Arcade or what have you, Lady Deathstrike. So having some fun with it. So we're by no means done making villains. This was just a special comic-themed wave that we had some room for this year, and hopefully you guys dig it. Yeah, should we close with maybe one more tease? How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, it's kind of only right. I mean, 2021. Let's give them a little jab, a little
poke,
edge
a
or
little.
something.
There you go.
A little poke.
All right, let's take a look at this. So let's talk about this. You know, we have a lot of accessories that are pretty standard, from the shocker orbs to the, lightning effects and fireballs and katanas. So we thought, why not take this opportunity to do an all-new accessory that looks very, very interesting. Maybe you guys might recognize it, but we're not going to say anything else about what item that this accessory might come in, but it will be coming out later this year. So let the speculation begin, and we want to see those comments flowing down the side for those people who recognize it immediately. All right, that's it. I got to go catch the latest episode of WandaVision because I've avoided Twitter up until now, so nothing has been spoiled for me, so I'm going to go check that out. You guys should too. We will see you next time on The Pulse. Take care, everyone.
Alright, so a real quick recap. I will go in reverse. So that means the thing you saw last, I'll talk about first, which I believe to be Excalibur. Had to be, right? Now, they mentioned that it would be in something or embedded in something. I guess we'll get Excalibur and the stone with some type of action feature where maybe you can remove the sword. Maybe this will come along with Captain Britain, or maybe this will go along with some X-Men characters as the recent X of Swords storyline was going in the comics, which I didn't read, so maybe you guys could school me a little bit in the comments below, but we'll talk about this more in depth on the podcast. And then we got a chance to see the full Bring on the Bad Guys wave. Well, this is the 6-figure assortment you need to complete the Build-A-Figure. Dr. Doom and his white Secret War outfit is the figure without a Build-A-Figure part, so that makes 7 figures in total for this wave. We all speculated a long time ago that we would get a repaint of Dr. Doom with his white outfit, but they threw us for a little loop by giving us a new upper torso and some pretty cool accessories. Red Skull is probably my favorite figure out of this wave. I think he looks great. He's gonna look dope with all of your Hydra soldiers. Lady Deathstrike, long overdue, one that we knew was gonna be coming at some point. She looks really good. Dormammu looks good in his sort of powered down base form. Classic old school Dormammu, which means classic old school Doctor Strange can't be far off. The Scientist Supreme looks great. Also, he will look good with all of your AIM soldiers lined up. Finally get to see Arcade. You know, we only saw the digital sort of images of him and Dormammu prior, and he looks very, very good. 2 head sculpts, so that's cool. And finally, we're going to get a hood. I talked about this some months back. I actually even did a setup with a like kit bashed mock hood. This one I'm not really too happy with, but I could work with it. You could definitely do some kit bashing and do some things with this. Again, we'll talk about all of this more in depth on the podcast. Threw me for a loop with this Build-A-Figure. Did not see this guy coming at all, but this may tie into my whole Hulkarama video. Part 2 is coming this weekend. I was really hoping for Mephisto, but according to what they're saying, he'll be coming at some point. And then the only other things worth mentioning right now is hologram Iron Man, which being that he was confirmed, I would say that everything else that was speculated on from the wave that he's supposed to be a part of is probably true. I guess they will reveal that information somewhere down the line. If you want to know that, you can go back to my last 2 news updates. Really cool that we'll get an updated, more classic look for the Mark IV Iron Man armor. And finally, we will be getting a somewhat classic look for Quasar, a long overdue figure in the Marvel Legends line, one that we've never had in the Marvel Legends line, as they stick with their sort of cosmic theme for the exclusives in 2021. Looking forward to seeing what else they have in store. So yes, look for us to expand on this discussion on this week's episode of the ACBA podcast. Thank you for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, peace.
I make your mouthpiece obese like Della Reese. When I release, you lose teeth like little Steve's. Player please, blood flood your dungarees. And that's just the half of my war path. Laugh now, cry later.